Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Yes, sir. What's up, EV? We got no Mike, as you can see. Mike's in Alaska having the time of his life. I'm back at my parents' basement having the time of my life with EV. You know, back to the OG days where it all started. Had a power outage and internet outage at my house. So when, you know, nature calls, we go crazy. We come to my parents' house, make a backup plan. What you up to,
where it all began.
Yeah.
Oh, not much, man. Just joining you here on AMA. I believe this is my first time on AMA, so.
You know what, EV, it's been a long time. It was maybe 2 years ago. We had you on with Mike one time. We were at the freeway. Okay. But it's been a while, a long time coming too.
Yeah,
I see you with the Rodgers jersey. Is that a new, I don't have all the graphics. We're on StreamYard, but is that a new certified shit?
It is a new certified shit on their little sale they had. $34 for a fucking Packers Rodgers jersey. Can't beat it.
Yeah. I feel like the Steelers are trying that route too, the discount Rodgers version, you know?
See, as a Browns fan, I can't buy a Steelers shirt or jersey. I can't do it.
No, of course not. I'm with you. I was actually telling Fizz, we were talking about like certified shit and all the jerseys I have. I'm like, I'll basically get anybody's jersey. I'm kind of a fan of the player until what I can't do is just go in division. Like I don't have any. Yeah. You won't see me in any Bengals, any Ratbirds, and any Steelers, man. Can't do it.
I have a Bengals. I have one Ravens. So I had a Chad Johnson from back in the day and a Ed Reed. Okay.
Was it Ocho Cinco or was it Johnson on the back?
It was Johnson. This was before he went to Ocho.
Okay.
But I have a Ed Reed too. A purple Ed Reed. That's really sweet.
Ed, I mean, don't get me wrong. I could have a lot of them because they've had a lot of good players on all those teams. But Ed Reed was a dog, man. Ed Reed was awesome.
Yeah. Those are the only division ones that I have. But yeah, I've seen you've had a couple, man. You had a chain a couple weeks ago. You had
what's up, D-Walk?
The new Gibbs. The new Gibbs was sweet.
I was gonna rock the new Gibbs, but speaking of jerseys, you can't hardly see because I'm so up close with this lens, but. Garrett Wilson, man, got the bag.
He did.
What do you think of that? Does it change anything for you in Dynasty? I know we actually did a startup recently, and you were kind of like telling me, yeah, I'd prefer anything but Wilson here, you know?
It wasn't that I didn't prefer anything but Wilson. He was just the last of my guys.
Yeah, let me say, relative to the other receivers, I'm sorry, that we had, which were, who were those? Go ahead, EB.
Yeah, I forget who exactly was. It was like the Marvin Harrisons, McConkeys, those guys.
We got AJ Brown, so we had him over. I would still have AJ Brown over him.
Yeah. It's not that I don't like Garrett Wilson. I think he's a hell of a talented player, man. I just can't trust Justin Fields. I don't trust him. So that's all it was for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see this year how things go. Obviously, the expectations were sky high last year. Speaking of Rodgers, you're rocking the jersey. I mean, that's awesome. The thing was, I think he underwhelmed still for people hoping he would make this breakout to a top 5 receiver. But in a lot of formats, he was still anywhere from like 10 to 12 as far as the wide receiver. So to me, I would rather have Rodgers than I would Fields. But, you know, go back to Fields with DJ Moore a couple years ago. DJ Moore was wide receiver 6. He already has rapport with Garrett Wilson. And I think the volume's obviously going to come down with Justin Fields at the helm as far as pass volume. But I do think that there's really no one else. I mean, who's the second option on the team? Mason Taylor?
Yeah. It's Mason Taylor, Breece Hall. That's about it.
So yeah, that's true. Probably it might honestly be coming out of the backfield in Brees Hall.
Honestly, if I think about it realistically, I'm probably just too down on the situation than I should be.
I mean, and rightfully so. I think it's from last year to this year, with kind of how things played out. Obviously, when they went to go get Devontae Adams too, that kind of nuked a little bit of his upside at the back half of the season, right? But and then now, kind of with that sour taste in your mouth, you get Justin Fields and the run style offense through him. But I don't know. To me, I think there's a lot more stability with Fields, honestly, than people want to give him credit for. Because tell me, as bad as you think Justin Fields is a quarterback, when Garrett Wilson was getting peppered with targets, he's played with far worse quarterbacks than Fields in the Jets offense. So, seeing all the people here. What's up, K Bach? No cold intro this week. Nice. No, Jay. We this week, man, I'm barely getting it through, but we're here. So now we're having fun.
We had to throw it back to the old school 2023 intro. Brings me back to start shit days of back to Sundays doing
start
that
shit
intro.
Show. Yeah. We're coming. Hey, that's coming up again too soon. By the way,
it is. Yes, looking forward to it.
We got Theo. We've got Jay Jackson with the discount double check. Pre-game crew. What's up, Jake? And oh wait, what's going on? I almost missed this one. What's up, Six Rings?
Yeah.
All right, we got a question. We'll start off with questions early. How about that?
Sure.
Jason, what's going on, man? Appreciate the question. Super chats still are able to be given to us, but no money on the screen. All right, no ATM's money moves this week. Half-point tight end premium, 6-point passing touchdown. So you got Burrow, May, Penix at QB. We got Chase, Jefferson, CD, JSN, Higgins. Embarrassment of riches at wide receiver.
Oh damn.
Tight end is Kincaid, Kraft, and Sennett, but who cares with that type of a squad? We got and obviously here's you want to try to improve the running back room, but even with this team, Chuba Hubbard and DeAndre Swift, it's not really that bad. Shitters after that, though. Mm-hmm. Should you be going all in? And would you give 105, 112, a 26 first, JSN and Kraft to get Saquon and Bowers?
So I'm assuming the rookie draft hasn't happened yet if it's 105 and 112. So
yep.
Man, that is like literally 4 firsts for Saquon and Bowers, plus you're adding in Kraft. I don't think I can do it, man. I think at 105, you're going to get a really good running back that you want still, like Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, whoever the hell you want there to, take that spot of Saquon. 112, you can go get Colson Loveland or Tyler Warren. Like, I have Colson Loveland, number 3 tight end in Dynasty. I know he hasn't stepped on the fucking field, but I like the guy a lot. And yeah, I think I would just stick with your picks there, JSN and Kraft, and you can get, a running back and a tight end at your 105 and 112 for sure. Yeah,
I mean, so really this comes, I think the big part of this deal that's making it so egregiously expensive is getting Bowers, right?
Yeah.
And getting Bowers does, like Saquon, I think makes your running back room a lot better. It doesn't permanently solve it, but it's definitely a piece to go all in. But to get Bowers on this team, because I guess here's the way I would think about it. Like 105, 112 and a 26 first for Bowers. And then JSN, I think, for Saquon, if you added Kraft in there, would make sense. So, like, personally, I'm just not as great as this team is, and I know it's a start 9. So you might, in this type of a format, want to spend that premium to go get Bowers. I don't think I could do that, man. And I know one of the first is 112, but I probably wouldn't pay all this to secure Bowers, because I think you could either attack this trade with just Saquon or go get another running back. To Evie's point, you could draft one even. So it's a little too rich for me. I wouldn't even hate getting Bowers, but just not for this price. Not in this format for this price. No way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's 4 firsts plus JSN and Kraft. Just in there. No thanks.
Yeah, with you. All right, so let's see. We got Matty Gomes. Judkins was a hold a couple days ago. Still same tone, or are we leaning towards sell? Also, as a Cleveland fan, you have any more info than the mainstream media? EV, do we have any more info than what the mainstream media has?
I haven't heard anything new other than that report that the police report that everyone has seen. So that's all I've seen. Honestly, I'll still hold him. Like he's still in their plans. They're gonna run with him, unless they cut him, which I don't think they're going to. He's not. He doesn't even have a contract signed yet, so you
Right.
can't really cut him. What are they gonna cut? They don't have anything to cut. So,
No.
I mean, I think he gets suspended probably the first 4 or 5 games of the season, 6 games, and then he's back to normal. So, if you can buy him for a second right now, I'd go ahead and do it. But otherwise, I just hold on to him because I think he's still a really good player.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would panic sell. I mean, it's obviously not good news. It's obviously, stock slightly down, but
Right.
I think I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I think he'll probably he will get a suspension at some point in the 4 to 6 game range, right? That's what we've kind of seen has been the case. I don't know if it's this late in the year. I think there's enough time to where it could probably happen this year, but there's a scenario where we've seen this before, where this ends up he plays this year, and then maybe next year he has his suspension.
Right, that too. Yeah.
So to me, redraft, I would be a lot more cautious. In Dynasty,
yeah,
I'm not panic selling, and I probably wouldn't pay full boat to go buy him again. But I don't know. I'd be willing to probably send if I was a really strong contender and running back was something I needed, I'd be probably willing to send my 26 first for him if it was what I thought could be late.
Okay. How about this one, Ford or Sampson? If you think he's going to get suspended this year,
Samson.
that's where I'm at too. But a couple of my redraft leagues and my Scott Fishbowl, Ford got taken ahead of Sampson. I'm like, thank you. I'll just take Sampson. So
Yeah, I mean,
I would get a discount on him. But I think Sampson's. I know you were really high on him.
Yeah.
They've already talked about how they're going to use him in the receiving game. So I think
Yep.
it's going to be wheels up for Sampson.
Yeah, I think it was the thing about it is I think it was already going to be. I was not excited about it on draft night because I'm like, come on, they already drafted Judkins early round 2, so it felt like it nuked his potential like workhorse ability upside. But once you kind of get over that, you're like, you know what? We've seen the Browns in this scheme go heavily into the 2 running backs that they're using out of the backfield. I think Sampson has the opportunity to get a lot of the pass catching work, and I think this might just get him off to a better start to where, like in redraft, I'm not really talking about that, but in Dynasty, you might have felt like he might come along a little slower with Ford still there and with Judkins like dominating early. If he gets a suspension, we might see Sampson really ball out early on.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, the worst thing that this happening at this time of year for Dynasty is like the worst thing because there's not much else to talk about. So you can definitely lean into doing too much too fast,
Yeah. I mean, the Browns are going to be a run-first team this year. They've already talked about how they want to be a run-first team. They don't want to be throwing the ball 7,000 times a game or anything like that. So
Right.
as long as, I think they can hold the fort down with Sampson and Ford for a little bit. And then if they have, when Judkins comes back, he'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what else we got here? We got D-Walk says, damn, I was early and then I was late. It happens, D-Walk. I've been known to do both, primarily be late. In honor of the bag given, would you down tier from Amon-Ra to Garrett Wilson, Trey Harris, and a 26 first? I personally think I would, because you're getting a first. I think it's a good down tier. Trey Harris included in that, all of a sudden, that's pretty sick too. Start 10, like if you told me this was maybe a start 8, he maybe wanted to hold. I could see it, but start 10, I think the first. We've talked about this before, Eric, on like the trade show recently we just did, where that first in season can buy you something that can make up the difference, I think, between Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson. Obviously, last year, you look at Warp, like Garrett Wilson was around like somewhere in the 10 range typically at receiver, where Amon-Ra was 3. But with the change of offense going on with no Ben Johnson this year, I could see where it's even closer potentially this year as far as their Warp. So this is pretty easy. I'll take the down tier.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I'll take the down tier. So, basically 2 first and a second for Amon-Ra. I mean, I don't think Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra stat-wise aren't going to be that far off, and you're getting the first and Trey Harris on top of it. Start 10. Yeah, I think I'm with you on this one. I'll take Garrett Wilson, Trey Harris in the first.
Yeah, and I think this one EV speaks to me before the bag, which when they didn't have a quarterback like solution long term, it should have been pretty obvious they're going to pay this dude and whatever has to be done to secure him. So I don't think this moves it much as far as his dynasty value or what the market's going to do. But the market still, if this is available, to me says we're panicking way too much on Garrett Wilson personally.
Yeah.
Davo, what's popping, man? I got offered Judkins and a 26 first for JT. I feel like maybe ... but that means I'm probably not contending this year since Judkins. I'm taking this deal and running with it because, like, to me, a first for Taylor maybe isn't quite enough. But to your point, like, Judkins is worth more in a second. I think a first and a second is already probably like what JT would be potentially a sell for me. So the great part about this, Davo, is if whether he's suspended this year or they end up pushing it out down the road because of the legal court system, you're going to have an ability to cheaply patchwork the running back position, I would say, by sending in like a second round pick, or like you don't have to have a JT in your lineup to be competing in the start 10, right? You could find a way to add something to fill the gap for a few weeks. Maybe it's 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden when Judkins comes back, who's to say Judkins and JT isn't a lot closer just overall? Like if there was no suspension, JT and Judkins, I think in startups would be going around the same fucking range. Like this one's pretty easy too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would take Judkins in the first, and then kind of like you were piggyback, or I'm going to piggyback on here a little bit. Is you have that extra first now. You can go buy another running back with that, or you could just buy somebody cheaper. Like, knowing I have 2 firsts now, I can trade my third, go to the Austin Eckler owner and play Austin Eckler for 6 weeks, and have a PPR type of asset like that. Guys like that you can feel comfortable playing in a pinch if you got to. So like an Austin Eckler type would work perfect there. Or if you want to go and try and get Samson or Jerome Ford, just do that as well.
I was going to say, I think you could probably take the profit here. And I don't know if now with the noise and the news with Judkins, but like I still think a second roughly for Samson would work. Mm-hmm. So you could probably spend some of your winnings, so to speak, to secure Samson for the early part of the season 2. But there's plenty of other options. And by the way, I'm looking at Dynasty Data Lab. So this is including startups that have just recently taken place. EB, we're looking at Quinshawn is in the early part of the 5th at the like 503, and Jonathan Taylor is in the back part of the 4th. And it's running back 9 versus running back 12. So yeah, I would assume there's a little movement, but basically before the potential suspension, you're looking at very similar dynasty value guys. So the first makes up for the suspension. And to EV's point, I think worst case scenario, that first will be able to buy you some running back at minimum. But I don't think I would play it that way. I think I'd try to buy a cheaper running back and then really use this first down the road when I want to, secure my team a little bit for the playoff run. That's what I'd be doing.
If you wanted to contend, would you take one of those first and just go buy the fucking King Henry? And
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You could definitely. Yeah. There's probably a couple scenarios that if you wanted to, are out there. Now, obviously, this is going to depend on like what teams are going to let you in your league. I don't know who has Henry, but a Henry, a CMC, something like that. Yeah, sure. I think there's another handful of running backs.
It's a gamble, but I think it's a worthwhile gamble.
Yeah, if your team is really stacked, right? Like if your team is really stacked and you're worried about it because you're saying maybe ... like I want to contend this year, you could take that risk. But I think a lot of teams in a start 10, if they're built well, can afford a Judkins 6-game suspension and kind of patchwork the position together. Where now this first is just liquidity you can use later.
Yeah.
All right, so D. Montgomery plus a second or Judkins. You want David Montgomery and a second, or do you want Judkins here in Dynasty?
I think I would rather have Judkins here, and then
Same.
I think you could be able to get a third, or maybe like a lesser running back, maybe on top of it too. Like, can I get Justice Hill, Ty Johnson, somebody I could throw in a pinch if I need to. So I think that's the route I would go.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here. Sorry, I almost skipped this one. Judkins and AJ Brown, or RJ Harvey and Rice.
I think I'm leaning Harvey and Rice on this one, just because I think Rice is on the verge of overtaking AJ Brown. If not, they're probably really damn close in a lot of rankings. And then Harvey and Judkins, I think, is kind of a coin flip right now. I prefer Judkins pre-draft, but with the suspension right now, and then Rice in the future here, probably overleaping AJ Brown very soon. I think Harvey and Rice, I'm fine going on that side.
Yeah, I think this makes sense. I think either way is fine.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is, like, if I was not locked into contending, I would not be taking on AJ Brown. That's the one thing I wouldn't be doing. Like I would rather stay younger if I was in a little bit of a rebuild mode, or if I wasn't sure that I was locked into being a contender this year. Because I think Rice is probably going to speak to more managers. AJ Brown kind of locks you into selling him to a true contender, and then by the time you know that, it's going to be midway through the season. So I probably would lean the other way as well. I'm kind of the reason I'm a little hesitant there is, like, out of the gates, is there a scenario where Harvey isn't actually like the primary back and J.K. Dobbins is making him not super useful? Because if you're making this pivot strictly because you think a suspension is looming, I'm just not guaranteeing that RJ Harvey is going to be, all that much better than Judkins for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking at it, same offense from back in the 2016 days of Ingram and Kamara together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it could be very similar where Dobbins is the Mark Ingram, the first and second down type guy, and then Harvey can come in, catch all the passes, and still get some rushing work too. He might not have 1,000 rushing yards, but he might do what Kamara did his first year, 800 rushing, 800 receiving.
Yeah, he should get a lot of opportunities to catch passes. I don't disagree with that.
Right.
It's just a lot of times, depending on the player, right? We've seen plenty of rookies start slow that are supposed to have even the workload, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Jonathan Taylor from trade ago, remember the up and down rookie season he had? I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes guys that are rookies, they don't fire right away out of the gates. So that's my only hesitation with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So didn't the Browns put something out saying they weren't planning on offering him a contract until he figures out his court stuff? I didn't see that. Did you, Evie?
No, I didn't see that either.
Yeah. I don't think that's...
Well,
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think
a lot of the second round contracts are up in the air right now because only 2 of them have even signed out of the 32. So they're waiting to see all the guaranteed money about all those guys. I think Tyler Shuck might be the one that's kind of holding it up a little bit to see if he's going to get a fully guaranteed deal or not. So that stuff's going to come to a head here real soon with training camps opening up literally next week, and some already opened up. So
yeah. All right. Cleveland gives everyone second chances when they think they should sign guys and beat defense. Jeesh, Trenton.
That's a guy who just never even got a shot ever again was Geis.
Yeah, he had an injury too, right?
Yeah, he tore his ACL his first year, and then I believe he got the domestic stuff coming into this next year. Yeah.
Yeah, his seemed to be pretty. It felt pretty egregious from what I remember of the details.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Love the dedication to the craft. You know what time it is, E-Will? We're not gonna run from it. We're gonna run to it. Over at my parents' house. It's pretty awesome. They're like probably trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I can't have enough Wilson to play the variants. Maybe my downfall, but love the upside potential here. I agree. I think there's a scenario where he finishes very close to like what we saw last year in production. And if I just think about it from that standpoint, and a guy that's still extremely young in Dynasty that finishes the top 12 receiver last year, that's going outside of the top 12 in Dynasty, like that's literally what we're talking about here. Like that to me seems like, okay, I get the narratives, and I understand it's not as exciting as it was last offseason where it's like Rodgers could make this guy go to a top 3 receiver. But it's also really hard to get a guy. Go look at his targets the first years of his career. Like, those type of receivers literally don't grow on trees at all. Yeah. They don't grow on trees at all. So in the long-term game, Garrett Wilson to me is someone I've been targeting a lot. And probably, I don't know if I'll get as many more shares just because he's still really expensive, even though there is kind of a, so to speak, discount. You probably need to get them in startups. Or speaking of auction, I want to give you can I tell you what I got him for on auction? You were in the draft there.
We were, yeah. And then the episode of America's Game that comes out tomorrow, I got Koopa on, and we talk a lot about that auction too.
Nice. Hell yeah. Sweet. I believe it's, by the way, the league's called Call Me Daddy. And as a daddy, I stick to that. So let's see. Jackson Smith and Jigba, I believe I got for 27, and Garrett Wilson I got for $24 out of a $300 budget. So less than 10%. Closer to 7%. So crazy.
Yeah.
Love me some Trey Harris. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how it works out and what the offensive passing volume looks like. But I like the talent. I like the player profile. No doubt about it. Mr. B. Not Dr. B, for those that want to know. 12-team, start 11 EV. No tight end premium. Mahomes, Russ, and Burrow. We got CMC, A-Chain, Pacheco, Mason, Tootin. We got Rashad White, Rashard, etc. We got Marv, DK, Buka, Jacoby, Shakir, Leggett, etc. We got Kelsey and Otten. It's got 226 first. Would you send Leggett in one of the 26 first right now for a wide receiver upgrade?
I mean, it just depends on who it is. Like you're just talking about, would you do that for Garrett Wilson? I think I'd do that for Garrett Wilson.
I would 100%. I would do that for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
If Garrett Wilson can be had for a generic first, let's just call this right, and a Leggett tossed in a million times. Yes.
Yeah, I think anybody in that
ahead.
range. Yeah, anybody in that kind of range. Like, I don't know if you can get Nico or Drake or any of those guys.
Yeah, anyone up that close, I think anyone in like those first 3-4 startup rounds would be, I think, like way too much of a no-brainer. I'm thinking, like, let me ask you, would you do this for a Devontae Smith, a Terry, a guy, someone like down more in that range? Because I think if you're sending Leggett, right, what I imagine is this is a start 11, right? So with the flex spots, I'm imagining Marv, DK, Buka are kind of locked in, but at least Marv and DK probably locked in. And I don't know, I don't think this is going to get you a guy that's in the range of Marv that gives you that type of an upgrade. If you can, I mean, that's too easy.
Yeah, Devontae, I don't know. I think it's worth it, probably. Yeah. I was kind of thinking along the lines of, can you go get Rashee Rice or T. Higgins because he has Mahomes and Burrow?
The one I would try, which seems to be the market for this player, it still has a lot of variance. I think Rome would be the one I might try for this.
Rome,
I think Rome would
I like that.
I think Rome is maybe the one that could thread the needle. He's actually right in between Smitty and Rashee Rice in startups at the moment.
So with a new opportunity, would you do Jalen Waddle for Leggett and a first?
I don't think I would.
Jonnu out of there. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I don't think I would. That's because, like with Rome, I'm kind of willing to risk it because I think the market will react in a huge way if he goes crazy.
Yeah,
like Jalen Waddle kind of feels like you're betting on his bounce back, but there's not going to be the upside to capture. Like if he starts decent, right? I think that the market's going to be pretty slow to react to him. He's getting a little bit older, and we've seen more of his. I shouldn't say like he's super old, but we've seen a lot more of his seasons play out to where the market doesn't tend to, balloon for those type of players anymore.
Right.
I think, for me, I would do it for a Devontae Smith, like as my lowest. Like that'd be the kind of the lowest. That'd be a stopgap for me. I'd be
agree.
Anyone below that. I think I'm probably just going to hold on.
Yeah, like maybe like Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers would probably be my end.
Right. Yeah. Somebody in that ballpark range would be about where I stop and hesitate to go anything past there.
Yep.
All right. So we got I traded 106 and 108, which was Hendo and Igbuka plus 208. Tootin. Okay, but what? Wait, what?
He traded Henderson for Igbuka.
Oh. Yeah, I misread that. That's I think that's pretty easy. Now, I like Henderson quite a bit, but I'm also really high on Igbuka. So,
yeah.
To me, those guys are interchangeable. I'll just say solidifying it as Tootin makes it interesting because if that backfield becomes a jumbled mess and Tootin doesn't actually break out, like this becomes almost like a 1-for-1 trade,
Yeah.
So I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Like I could see both sides. Like I do like Henderson a lot too, but I do like the upside of Igbuka. So, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I figured. Thanks for the insight, guys. That's what we're here for, my friend. No problem at all. Von Miller is a commander.
That dude's been toast for like 3 fucking years now.
I
Ever
was about to
since
say,
the Rams Super Bowl, he's been toast. So
I was about to say, I feels like I can't even remember the last time I cared about him signing for a team somewhere, but he is. They signed Von Miller before they paid Terry LMA.
I mean, I
Laughing my fucking
highly
ass
doubt
off.
Von Miller got a big money deal.
No, but I will say, I mean, Terry kind of probably put their feet to the fire, so to speak, by having such a freaking ridiculous year last year. You know.
Yeah.
Startup question: what kind of strategy do you take with a 14-team league? Man, this is where Mike would just demolish this with the quarterback hoarding. I think.
Yeah.
What do you think here, Evie? 14-team, to me, the premium on quarterback becomes extreme.
Yep.
In both the scenario of quarterback hoard potential, and if you're ever, to me, here's the one thing in 14-team. If I'm ever considering, like when we were just in a startup in a 12-team league, right? And I was like, hey, at 403, let's take the risk. Let's get T. Higgins and see what we get on the way back at QB. Anytime that's ever a discussion, you should be taking the quarterback, in my estimation, because the scarcity of 2 quarterbacks in a super flex league. So for the record, we're talking super flex here. So if this is 14-team, 1 quarterback, then Mike would hate the question. But if it's a super flex league, that means there's 28 starters, right? And for everyone would like to have a quarterback 3, that's 42, and that number just doesn't exist. So, I draft them early, draft them often, and you can basically leverage quarterbacks like crazy in 14-team.
Yeah, if you start off your draft with 3 straight quarterbacks, I think that's perfect. That's probably what I would lean towards. Use your draft picks on quarterbacks too whenever you have the available opportunity. Yeah, they are
right. Like guys like
much
Tyler
more-
Shuck should be going up the board even more drastically in a 14-team league. Yep, with you.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, definitely hit the quarterbacks early and often. Like if you go your first 2 picks and then like your 3rd pick, you want to get your first skill player, then the 4th round, I'd probably grab your 3rd quarterback. But I always want to have 3 really good starting quarterbacks in there, so I'm not, screwing around with having to start, or picking up, the Jake Brownings and the Mac Joneses of the world off the waiver wire. I do like to have some of those guys too on my roster. Picking up and drafting some of the backup quarterbacks at the end of the draft, your Kirk Cousins, your Jake Brownings, the guys who are solidified as backup quarterbacks. I definitely like to have them. And then if they end up starting, I can flip them for a second because, a 3rd in a 14 team league is jack shit. Like, give me a second, or you can fucking take a 0 in your super flex spot.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it. There is if there's a lot of starters, right? It might not put as much of a premium on the quarterback, but in 14-team, man, the thing about it is too. There's a lot of issues with depth. So having that extra quarterback and potential flippability, it's. I've never seen it hurt a team, honestly.
Right.
I can't recall one. So that's where I would just lean into that. Pick 43, Niners O-line just signed. Okay. Good to know. Awesome. Got you, the freak. And Judkins not getting a deal till his legal troubles are over is confirmed by Mary Kay. Mary Kay Cabot. I'll say Mary Kay, though. I love you, Mary Kay. I know she's not watching this, but if you were, I do love you. But I'll tell you that. Not necessarily the most in touch source out there at the moment.
Yeah, her and Grossi, the 2 Cleveland reporters, are definitely out of touch.
Bro, it's I don't want to pile on, so we'll just we'll leave it at that.
We'll skip.
Bird, make sure you get your quarterbacks early. Yep, Redwood knows. That's one thing us and a Michigan guy can agree on. What's up, Red? We got dude. Here's the other thing. Start 13. This is truly a diabolical league because the amount of depth you're going to have. You spread all the players across 14 teams. You have to start 13. There are going to be people out there in bye weeks before injuries starting fucking, AO minors and fucking guys without roles. Honestly, I'm telling you, that's how it works.
If he's saying it is start 2 quarterbacks where you have to start 2, I'm starting my draft with 4 quarterbacks right off the rip.
Yeah, that's another thing to note here with if it's a 2 QB league is that
if it's not super
you don't
flex,
even have the option.
Yeah.
You don't even have the option to put a super flex patchwork skill player in there. You have a 0 if you don't have a quarterback starting, right?
Right, exactly. So that makes quarterbacks even more important, in my opinion. So in those leagues where I have to start two, I always carry 4 to 5 quarterbacks if I can. So
Think about it.
if you started off 4 quarterbacks, I wouldn't hate that at all.
I was gonna say, think about it in a league like this. Last year, I guarantee there was someone out there that just, even when Fields was like getting a couple carries, was having to go in their lineup.
Yeah.
Like because there's not enough quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a league last year where either buys or injuries, or one of the others, and I had to like start a guy who was a backup that week and hope he played.
Right? Yeah. Hoping injury. Definitely for sure. That's a diabolical league.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, the other reason why I say get quarterbacks kind of early in a league like this, having the flexibility now to just not try to chase the, not that I wouldn't draft a Flacco in this league, right? But not having to chase guys that could potentially start to fill some spots. You can just, everything from here on out, you're just drafting, skill players, right? All the way, because you're going to need guys in like round 15, 16, 17 to potentially make your team. So like Pop Douglas, this is a league where a guy like Pop Douglas, honestly, I put a lot more value on him in a league like this.
Yeah, I mean, with how many guys that you're starting, you're going to be starting the
Wandale
Robinsons,
yeah,
Wandales.
You can even go way down that far for sure.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're in like a lot of times in a more shallow league, when you get into those type of rounds, you're trying to shoot the upside shot, right? A guy that probably doesn't have a role, but you're hoping is young, breaks into one. I'm okay in those rounds here drafting a much more gross name, but has potential to give me very decent flex viability,
Yeah.
All right, Jay Brooks is on the for different reasons, but yes, Jonathan Brooks is on that same trajectory. What's up, DB? The dueling hats are 6. I keep noticing them. By the way, go into, if you're a Patreon member, shout out patreon.com/South Harmon. They are on sale for pre-order right now. So D-Walk, get your ass in there. I know you're already in there as a patron.
Yeah, what else do they have in there? We have hats, and what else did you put
We got
in
the
there?
hats, so you can get the hat. You can get the Warp is Life shirt. You can get the polo that we have, the South Harmon polo. White, black, and gray. It's going to be depending on what size and what stock they have available on their team store. But put your preference in there, white, black, gray, based on your size. And then the zip-up hoodie that we have.
Okay. Yeah, so some really good options in there.
Yep. So those are the 4 pieces that you can pre-order. And at the end of the month here, so like July 31st, August 1st, we'll put the order in. So go get your ass in there and get yourself some of the new South Harmon merch. Appreciate it. D-Walk. Nothing on the table, just trying to think strategy for this team. Yeah, one thing too, though, Mr. B, like I would shoot some flyers out there for those type players that we talked about. But just know we're already kind of hit the point where it seems like 26 picks are a value to be receiving. So just be expecting, I think, a lot of people telling you to go fuck off with sending Leggett in the first. And if that's the case, it's okay to just hold. But that would be what my strategy is. What's up, Matt Dennis? Been a while. How you doing, man? Or would you try to go like a Cortland Sutton cheaper option? I mean, yeah, if we're not going to throw the first in the mix.
Yeah, if you get a second and Leggett.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine.
I don't know if that gets it done, but you could try.
Yeah, I think right now people are probably starting to, like I said, the same principle with the picks. Like they're starting to get a little, I don't know what you want to say, but they're getting freaked out and they want to start contending. So the idea of sending away contending pieces at the moment, every league's probably a little different, but it seems like this year we've hit the point a little earlier in the year where like redraft season's here. People are like, oh no, I'm not selling any contending pieces, But yeah, that would be fine. I would be okay with that. I could sign up on that. Hey, yeah, of course it hasn't been a minute since me and you've talked, but hey, Eric wishes you well.
Matt was on our start shit shows a lot this past season, so it was a lot of fun having Matt on. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yep. Dart went 106 in a 14 team.
Yep.
What's crazy is that's more the range. That's probably a little early, but it's closer to the range I think he should go in 12 team. But this makes sense in 14 team.
Yeah, I had a 14 team earlier. Let me see where he went.
Yeah, pull it up. Give us the.
I got him at the 115, which was an extra first round that I won from the toilet bowl, basically. So I won that pick. I got him at the 115. So, and
Damn.
I had the 107 as my normal pick, and I got Travis Hunter at the 107.
So
So
wait, 115. This a 14 team league? Was there an
yeah,
extra
14.
pick?
Yeah, 14. Well, yeah, it's a 14 team league, and I won the toilet bowl, so I won an extra first, the
Oh, so you guys
115.
included. I got you.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, because this is on MFL, so you can add it on there. So yeah, that
This guy.
I got Jackson Dart at the 115, and here's my quarterbacks already. I already had
Mhm.
Justin Fields, I had Drake May, I had Dak Prescott, and I already had Bryce Young. So I fucking, tripled down again. Here we go. I'm gonna get Jackson Dart too.
That's a W, man.
Yeah.
14-team league. Got him. You basically got him in round 2 because you won the toilet bowl. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was
Diabolical
surprised he
work.
went. But like the guys that went ahead, so this is like a start 2 tight end league with 1.75 premium. So they
Oh, that
value
pushed up
the
those guys.
yeah. So Loveland went, Tyler Warren, Loveland went at 105, Warren at 106. Mason Taylor went before me at the 114. So I got Jackson Dart over
Mason Taylor went ahead of Jackson.
Right,
Oh,
that was the only. That's like the only egregious.
What are
pick.
we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, you can say Luther Burden over Jackson Dart shouldn't have happened either, but Burden went ahead of Dart. So
It definitely shouldn't have happened in the 14 team.
yeah, yeah. So I got lucky on that one.
My God, the heli. What about a tight end premium being 1.5? Well, no, actually, EV. What's your tight end premium in that one?
1.75. So pretty close.
So same thing as this. But yours is start 2. Birds. I don't remember. Did he say? Yeah, it is 2 tight ends. So there you go. That's basically the same format as you have going on.
Yeah. I mean, even still, I'm going to hit those quarterbacks, man. If you have to start 2, I'm starting a bunch of them.
Yeah, I think in even in 2 tight ends, like I think you're going to be able to patchwork together the tight end position a lot easier than you will the quarterback position, personally. So
yeah,
been a rough year. Dad stepped on pass. So sorry to hear, man.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, buddy.
Well, prayers up, and we're our thoughts are with you, buddy. Miss you too, out. This is also a 2. Okay, yeah, we just talked about that, and maybe I watched too much Joe Rogan. Maybe I don't know what that's in regards to.
He had a comment up above a little bit.
Oh, did he? Okay, maybe I missed
the long one.
Want to pull it up? Okay, what I think about the Sanders thing is Cleveland's in QB purgatory. I'm trying to read this, but they burned their second on Gabriel. Let them have Sanders in the 6th. I think he was a first-round pick.
Yeah, so they took Gabriel in the 3rd.
Right.
I mean, honestly, they probably didn't expect Sanders to still be there in the 5th. He is probably still the highest player on their board. They met with him and all that. So,
well, they definitely didn't expect him to be there in the 5th. I don't think most people did. I think the reality with Shedeur kind of was teams that basically decided. I think most teams decided he wasn't really worth a first round. They didn't have a first round grade on him, and at that point, then I think that's why he might have fallen out of day 2. Is the teams didn't want to deal with potentially a headache and use a day 2. Once he made it to day 3, though, I would think 4th round. But all right, he falls to the 5th round. The Browns obviously decided to take him. What's crazy when you look back at it, if you remember, they traded a draft pick for Kenny Pickett before the draft. So in all intents and purposes, they drafted 3 quarterbacks in this draft, which is just that's just insane.
Well, here I can wrap this all up. So Andrew Berry started, in Cleveland, and then he went to Philadelphia for 1 season with Howie Roseman and those guys. Then he came back as the GM here for Cleveland after that. So in Philadelphia, they like to keep all their quarterbacks and draft them and develop them and trade them, basically use them as assets. So Andrew Berry has picked that up from Howie Roseman and the Eagles, and that's what he did here. Like, he got Dylan Gabriel. He traded for Kenny Pickett from the Eagles. They traded up 1 pick in front of the Eagles to take Shedeur Sanders because the Eagles were supposedly going to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round right ahead of them, or before them if they didn't move that pick up. So they got intel that Shedeur was going to go to the Eagles, and they traded up ahead of him just to get that pick in. So I don't know if it came from Haslam, like, hey, we're going to get this guy or whatever. But they're kind of playing the same thing the Eagles have always done. They always have their quarterbacks, develop them, and then they can use them as trade assets later on because quarterbacks are so damn valuable. What do I think is going to happen this year? I think personally, you're not going to be able to keep 4 quarterbacks on your roster. So one of these guys is going to have to go. I've said it 1,000 times. I think Flacco's going to beat out Kenny Pickett. Flacco knows this offense, has performed really good in it, took this team to the playoffs in it. I don't think Pickett's that good. So, like, they should be able to flip Kenny Pickett for a 6th or a 7th to somebody that could use a backup quarterback. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen. And they're going to keep Shador and Dylan Gabriel. I don't think you draft both of those guys and just cut one of them unless there's just something horrific between one of them.
Sure. I mean, well, I think in theoretically that makes sense, but it's almost like who's buying Kenny Pickett for that once the 53-man rosters get cut down?
Yeah, I mean, it's not much to cut him, I don't think, but even somebody will take him for a 7th. Somebody will just be like, okay, yeah, we'll take him for a 7th, just to have the rights to him, and they don't have to fight for him on the waiver wire.
Maybe. I mean, maybe we do that, but that's kind of where I think, like, maybe we should leave for now. Barry, as much as I love what you're trying to do, let the Eagles do the Eagles, because right now we have when we have a chance to fuck it up, trust me, we don't.
Well, we have no quarterbacks, so we might as well have 5 of them, have them battle it out, and let the best one win.
It's kind of like I kind of look at it as like in college. It's different though. In college, you see some teams that have 2 quarterbacks. In the NFL, if you have multiple, you have none. That's what it means in the NFL. So hopefully one of them works out, but. Here's what I'll say. The one quarterback that's worked out here currently plays for Tampa. So,
speaking of that, are you going to buy the new Tampa jersey?
I might have to get a new Buka.
Okay.
But I can't do it. I can't do it with Baker.
I like the white ones. The white ones look
sweet. The white
I mean, the original Yucks or orange creamsicle ones are sweet too, but
yeah, the white creamsicles are super sick.
Yeah.
The Bucky Irving probably. If Bucky keeps up, I'm probably going to stay away from that though, just because I have the ability, as much as I don't want to admit this, to potentially curse him, and I'm not trying to do that to people. So I'll probably hold off on that for now. Okay, so we got. Let's see. Maybe I watched too much Joe Rogan. Maybe you do. If they didn't have Watson, they could be a contender. I mean, talk about they let, instead of keeping Baker, they decided to go all in for Watson. They literally turned all that into fairy dust,
Yeah.
3 first and everything. But here we are. Don't know what Miami was thinking, but they must believe in Wilson.
Yeah, with Zach Wilson going.
Wilson, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a GM. A lot of times GMs do this with first round picks, right? As they want to get their chance to get him in the door and see if they can kind of resurrect the career.
I mean, it's better than what they've had there. It's better than fucking Tyler Huntley and Skylar Thompsons and Tim Boyles and
I mean, yeah, with Tua, I mean, knock on wood, you never. But what happens if the guy gets hurt again? We saw how really ugly that thing looked last year. All right, 12 teams start 10. We've got a half-point signing premium. We got Allen, Lamar. I mean, you got Josh Allen and Lamar. Goodness gracious, start. CMC. A-Chain, Igbuka, Pearsall, Ridley, Debo, Loveland, Kelsey. Can QB, RB carry me?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it definitely
this
can.
team,
I mean,
absolutely.
Like, here's the thing. If CMC and A-Chain were to stay healthy, I know that's a big if. With those 2 quarterbacks, like, I would say as long as those guys are staying healthy, I might at some point look to start buying into, potentially an upgrade at the receiver position somewhere. But early and often, I mean, those guys can win you enough weeks, I think, early on to let you be like, all right, now I'm kind of in the mix of contending. I know I'm probably going to make the playoffs or have a chance for a bye. Then I'd be willing to send my picks in. Because the receivers definitely, at least on the surface, are lacking. But these are the type of running backs and quarterbacks, especially, that can carry you if there was to be one.
Yeah, I think you have 2 upside high guys in Ibuka and Pearsall. Ridley's going to get fucking fed this year. That guy might get 150 targets. Debo,
with a team like this, Ridley's honestly a decent little wide receiver 1 or 2 option,
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what I did in the auction draft. I got Ridley, Olave, and DK Metcalf, the guys that nobody really thinks very high
Discounts.
of right now, but they're
Yep.
going to 140, 150 target guys this year. So I'm just banking on them getting the targets.
For sure. What up, Chris? Can't they just put one of them on the practice squad and be done with it?
Yeah,
Come with
but
the
somebody's gonna claim Gabriel or Shador. You put them.
That's
on
what I was just going to
waivers.
say.
Yeah.
The thing is, once they go on the practice squad, they someone else is going to steal them. Bunch of thieves, I tell you. You know.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is they know with the draft capital they have invested in the people they have, someone's coming to swipe them immediately.
Yep.
Cleveland quarterback by committee strategy is crazy. That's what the Browns are a little bit though. Crazy. Gabriel makes the most sense to be cut because he made the least sense to draft. I mean, the problem is with that though, while let's say in theory that's who they wanted to cut. The GMs in the front office and everything, it looks really bad if you were like that. That's basically burning draft capital, right? It's lighting it on fire. So that's probably why I think that'd be shocking to me if Dylan Gabriel got cut. That's like burning a 3rd round pick and evaporating it to 0 right away.
I'm looking up something real quick. So.
Okay. I see you working back over there. I want to hear what I'm curious what this is. Go ahead. You want me to keep reading?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Simon, that's very similar to my squad. Same thing. No one is paying market price to tear down my elite quarterbacks. Seems like we both need another high scoring receiver. Yeah, I think this is something I think as this season's getting closer, people kind of look at their lineup and they get uneasy about a couple spots. It's okay, I think, even on contenders or teams that you want to contend with, to not have the entire roster like solved with players and kind of see what happens throughout the year. Like I don't think buying one receiver for these teams guarantees that you're going to start winning every single one of those games. So I'd let variance play out a little bit and then make my decision on what kind of receiver I want to go get if I'm still contending.
So, do you know who the highest draft pick ever was to be cut before they made it to opening day
Ever?
on their rookie season? It was a 3rd round pick.
Ever? Okay. Well, I was going to say, I know I'm pretty sure the Browns was a 4th round pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was in 2007. The Raiders cut edge.
The Raiders did that the same year they drafted Jamarcus Russell. No,
they drafted Quentin Moses. It was an edge rusher in the 3rd round. I believe he was from Auburn.
Okay.
In the 3rd round, he did not make it to opening day. He got cut. That was the last 3rd round pick that ever got cut. So Dylan Gabriel is not getting cut, guys.
What was that dude? It was a receiver in the 4th round.
The Browns cut.
Yeah, I think it was Vincent.
I know they had.
Same year we drafted a bunch of receivers that year too, like Jordan Payton, I think was.
Yeah,
the one.
Yeah, I remember all those guys. I'd have to look it up, but
name?
I can look it up.
Jordan Payton. Spiraling. Let's see. This was the 2016 NFL Draft. Round by round. This is riveting stuff here on air. What's up? I'll keep you pull that up. I'll let you look it up. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. What's up, Chris? It's my brother-in-law. Buying jerseys.
Chris.
Are you buying jerseys? What do you got?
I remember Chris. You had Chris on a couple episodes. He was a pretty knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, I had him on 40 Chess podcast back in the day. Over at his
house. This 2016 they drafted Corey Coleman in the 1st round. Was our 1st round pick. Ricardo Lewis. They had Jordan Payton. Rashard Higgins was in that draft. I think that's the only wide receivers though.
Okay. Was it a different year then?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who it was too. It's one of these years. The Browns have had so many. We could do literally a fucking 3-hour show on Browns draft.
I think it was like
picks.
Vince Mayle. Wasn't that a guy? Mayle? Mayle?
Possibly. Let me look it up here. Let's see.
It sure was, buddy. Vince Mayle. That's a crazy pool. I remembered his name out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He was drafted in 2015. How about a year prior? 4th round, 123rd overall.
Okay.
Cut his ass. Oh, Chris just said to give you context. That was about me not buying more jerseys and to stop cursing people.
I gotcha.
All right, so I'm thinking I just ride into the season, not sure what options I have. Yeah, I think I agree with this. And what I wouldn't do is personally, if you have those two quarterbacks, I wouldn't be looking to move off of them. I think you'd be better off almost potentially foregoing like being a true contender this year and slow playing into next year with those same two quarterbacks and having a better team and a better chance to be an elite contender there. Like it's really hard to get two of the top 3 QBs. What you got, buddy? Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing what you said with the or what he said with Josh Allen for Neighbors. I'm not doing that.
Hell no.
But I think your team is good enough to kind of see maybe where it is after 3 or 4 weeks. Like I don't think you're starting off 0-3 with that team. So you can kind of assess where your team's at, and then if you feel like you need to make a move at some point, then yeah. I'll read this one. So 10 teams, start 9, no tight end premium, super flex. I've been trying to tier up from Garrett Wilson to either Nico, Amon-Ra, or Brian Thomas Jr. Who is the best buy for a contending roster? I have concern for Garrett's short-term outlook.
In honor of Mike, I'm going to not get – we will answer the question, but we're going to go to one trying to call me out here, all right?
Oh,
Vince
okay.
Mail had 0 catches, but 2 rushes and a TD in his career, LOL. 2017 Ravens. So there you go.
Jeez.
By the way, that's not the Browns. That was the old Browns. And he was a shocking cut with the final 53 4th-round pick. Okay, what do we got here? So what do you think here? You've got concern for Garrett's short-term outlook.
Yeah, so I mean of those 3 guys, I think I would have it BTJ, Amon-Ra, Nico would be my preferred order there. What about you?
Yeah,
I can maybe put Amon-Ra above Brian Thomas Jr.
I was going to say Amon-Ra and BTJ to me are in the same tier, but if you wanted to put BTJ for youth ahead of him, I'm fine with it. I think Amon-Ra is a little bit, believe it or not, I still think he's a little slept on. I'd probably go Amon-Ra, BTJ, Nico. I wouldn't mind tearing up from Garrett Wilson to these guys, but I can almost guarantee you in a 10-team league and a start 9, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I don't know. I don't get like, I don't get this all of a sudden. I really don't get all of a sudden this crazy concern for like Garrett Wilson. Do we think he's going to be like a horrible receiver this year?
No, I mean, I think he does what he does, but he's not. I don't think he's going to be some 10, 12 touchdown, guy.
BTJ, for the record, they just drafted Travis Hunter at 2, right? Mm-hmm. And Amon-Ra, like I'm not concerned about Amon-Ra, but his offensive coordinator's gone. Like I don't know. I don't think Garrett Wilson is guaranteed to produce quite like these guys, but I don't think it's going to be far off. And I think the cost is far off for Garrett Wilson to go pay for these guys.
Would you give up a 2nd-round pick and Garrett Wilson for any of those guys, or is that too much? Okay.
Yeah, I would do that.
So that's probably where you're
in a 10-team start 9. I would do that, but I imagine. Like, because I guess here's the thing. The way I look at it and think about it is, in Dynasty in general, the smaller the starting rosters are, typically the market is all about up tiering. Everybody wants to go up tier, so it costs a lot more to go up tier. So now if it's a 10-team start 9, everybody wants to up tier in this market, I would imagine. So like the idea of going to Garrett Wilson to these guys for a second would be sure. I just don't think it exists. If it does, I'd be locked into doing that. So maybe you can let us know minutes for your edits. Kind of like that name, actually. Do you have a minute for us? I think that's exactly what you do, Simon. Hope at least one of your wide receivers starts hot and increases their value and appeal. Yeah, definitely. Yep. And I think a lot of times, too, if you wanted to address like buying one now, you also could probably find a way to get someone in that Ridley range or that Ridley idea where it's not going to be some crazy asset that's going to cost you an arm and a leg, but might sure up your room, like a Shakir type, someone in that range, or Jacoby Myers even, just to get you through without having to spend something crazy.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, I'm kind of with Chris too. 0 reason to tear up from Garrett. I mean, I could understand it if it was cheap. I just don't think it's going to be cheap,
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Here's a question. Dynasty Best Ball. Adam knows the details. All right, this is a league that I'm in with him. It's a home league. All right. Would you pair 26? So would you send 2 26 late first with Ladd for Jordan Love. So for the record, for the details here, this is a half point PPR. So the receivers, the receiver line in WARP is kind of lower, and it's a 0.2 points per carry. So 6-point passing touchdown. So the quarterback and the wide receiver, or quarterback and the running back line a lot higher. Wide receivers a little bit dipped here. So would you send 2 late firsts and Ladd for Jordan Love in that league?
2 late firsts, or you mean just 1?
Oh no, sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said 2. Pairing is. Would you send a late first and Ladd for Jordan Love in that league?
Yeah, I mean, if you really need a quarterback, I think it's fair. Like, I don't think it's like either side's winning, egregiously on either side. Like, I think it's just a fair trade overall. If you like really need the quarterback, I'm fine with it. Especially if it's going to be a late first, and we're not, thinking the 2026 first class is going to be that great. So I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think. I think in the league that we're playing in that he's talking about here, I probably would do it. I think he has actually he just put in here. He's got Bryson Kyler. So it's a best ball league too. So the thing about it is having a third quarterback like Jordan Love isn't just having a third quarterback in lineup where you have to pick who you're starting, right? You just take their highest weeks all go into kind of your built-in best ball roster. So I think in this league I would do it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love 2 years ago, I think he was second or first in the league in touchdown passes. And obviously last year when Jacobs came in.
They just drafted Golden.
Just drafted Golden. So and Tucker Kraft's really coming around. So I still like the upside of Jordan Love. And if you look at Dynasty ranks and stuff, like he's in like the middle of, 16, 17, 18. Like he's probably better than that. So
and I like Ladd, but honestly in this league here, I think Chris knows why I'm saying this and probably knows why he should do it. Market-wise, it doesn't seem right, but Ladd is very replaceable in that format, I think.
Yeah.
And Jawline is incapable of cheating. We talk Davo 305. Talk to him, Talk to him, man.
Ladd's got that name value too, to where you can probably do that deal. So like everybody wants Ladd right now in Dynasty, and they probably just don't even think about it in the context of their league and their settings. They're like, oh, it's Ladd McConkey. Let me get it done.
Right. And I think Ladd's also he's valued really highly right now. And I'm not saying he's going to start slow, but if he starts slow, I wouldn't mind locking in the value of Ladd in that late first into a quarterback in a league where typically a receiver isn't going to get you to a top 15, 12 quarterback like Jordan Love would. So I'd probably just do that now if it exists. I don't even know who has Jordan Love. I was trying to think off the top of my head who's he trying to get this trade done with, but hopefully he puts it through. It'd be good to see a trade go down in that league. Strategic question. All right. Open 24 hours. I don't know if we're quite open 24 hours. We'll have a couple more questions, and then we got to get E out of here. You got to work tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I got to work tomorrow, but I'm good for a little bit if you need to. If you want to go a couple 20 minutes or so.
He just said, listen, I'm working tomorrow, but you went all the way to your parents' house? I'm open 24 hours as well. So 10 team, start 11 best ball. I'll admit, 10 team best ball, I don't get a lot of questions on even. So deep rosters.
This is a Mike question.
Yeah, Mike's in Alaska watching right now, excited as hell about this question, Yeah. Only 3 rounds of the rookie draft, which makes sense because we're taking 2 players out each round, okay? Are third-round picks more or less valuable than usual? Actually, wait a minute. That makes it even shorter. I'm tripping. It's the other way around. So that means there's only 30 people getting drafted, and then everyone's going to waivers. Damn.
Yeah, so like in your
third-round picks are more valuable, as meaning the players that are in the third are going to be better names. However, in a 10-team league, it's pretty, all the teams are going to be pretty paired together pretty closely.
So I think in theory, yes, they are a little more valuable, but also you're going to have players who fall to the waiver wire that are going to be probably just as good too. So if a third round pick gets a deal done, I'm fine flipping it, and I'll just pick, somebody maybe 80% as the same as that guy off the waiver wire after the draft.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in this format, they are, because of the fact that they're, you're drafting the 30th player or whatever, but I just think about like in the fourth
So
round.
like it's
Still
a
in the
middle of
12
the
team
third
league.
round pick in our 12 team. So like a Jaden Blue, basically.
That's what I was gonna say. I think if we go to the fourth round, there's still players I definitely want to draft. All
Yeah.
those players for sure are going to be available on the waiver wire. So like I probably wouldn't pay up to go get an extra third, so to speak. I'd probably prefer to honestly buy some fab, maybe in a league like this, or just strategically figure out from the strategy standpoint, instead of trying to buy a third, what would it like? How am I going to try to get the best value here with how many people are going to make it to the waiver wire? One of the things you don't put on here, I think that would be good to know, how many total roster spots are there? Because if it's a really short rostered league, maybe then
Yeah,
you'd
he says
rather
deep
have.
rosters. So, let's say it's 35,
I mean,
36.
if it's deep, like if it's past 30, I would just try to get a whole bunch of players off of the waiver wire as soon as the draft's over.
I like what you said. Try and buy some fab.
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna need it for getting those
Yep.
rookies. Yep.
Yep. All right. So do I target someone else instead? Jacob. Okay. I honestly I think that I like that trade for you, but would you target someone else instead?
It just depends on who it is, and like not every team is going to not be in a position to be able to trade a Jordan Love. If that's like his third quarterback or whatever. If you're targeting.
Jacob is a once strong contender that's in a rebuild now, and he's probably one of the people that is willing to trade away a Jordan Love that you could go buy.
Right. Yeah. So if that's like one of your best options, I don't mind it. But if you want to, like, I don't mind spamming out offers for, the same guys in that tier, for Baker Mayfield, for Brock Purdy, for Cam Ward. Like, if you want to go spam that same trade out, well, what's the worst they say? No, big deal.
I was going to say, I think that's actually, we're kind of on lockstep there. And I hate giving advice to the leagues I'm in, but I'll give at least Chris this. That's what I would do if you're planning on accepting this. I would see, all right, which quarterbacks would I rather have? And honestly, I would send out that same offer to those quarterbacks higher, right?
Yep.
Give them a couple days if they don't respond, or give them some time to hit decline. And if all those hit decline and none of them are going to work, then I go just hit the Jordan Love accept. That's the way I would play it probably.
Yep, I agree.
All right, that's the spirit. He's always got the spirit. Waiver's going to be hot. Yeah, I think so, dude. That's crazy. That means like there's going to be some crazy names on waiver wire. And watch, in a league like that, somehow there'll be some people that fall through the cracks that definitely should have gotten drafted. All right, Jacob Cowing. Let's talk about it as much as I don't want to. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really make much of an impact last year, and they had, a lot of those wide receiver injuries. So he's getting buzz right now. Like, the odds that he's probably going to be something are low. So if you can, pick him back up and somebody wants to trade you a third, or if you have him on your roster and somebody's going to give you a third for him, I just accept it. Like, the odds of him probably becoming a meaningful player for you are probably low. Like, he might have a game or two, like Calvin Austin did for the Steelers last year. Everybody wants Calvin Austin right now for some reason, but he's probably dog shit. So
I was going to say, this is already before the rookie complete flop, right? This is the archetype of re-roll, in my opinion, already, right? Like, this is the guy that realistically is not going to make it, and I'm already trying to re-roll into something valuable. So
right.
If there's an opportunity to get off of a share that, like, I was going to be stuck with, which I should probably theoretically still be stuck with, honestly, I'd probably do it for a fourth, but if you get a third, I think I definitely would do that. No question about it. You send me a third for Cowing, any of my rosters to you immediately. Done.
Oh, we got a Mike sighting.
Dude, so I wanted to say, I was going to try to pull up a video from him. I don't know if I can get it on the StreamYard, but he was trying to log in. Part of the reason we were running late, he was trying to come in, but his Wi-Fi on this wherever in Alaska just was not letting him get on the server. He's just checking in from dinner, by the way.
I see that he's got dinner. He's got red wine. He's my man's a wine aficionado now.
I was gonna say, Mike all of a sudden went to Alaska, and all of a sudden he's gonna be the Mr. Vino.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I can get this video from him to come over on StreamYard. Right. But let's keep answering questions until we get to it.
Yeah, I feel like the Jets signing G. Willie and Sauce to big contracts must mean they love what they are seeing from Fields. I mean, they could. Like, I think that was a whole reason Aaron Glenn went and got Justin Fields. He played against him for 2 years and tore his ass up, every time the Lions and Bears played. So I could see why he liked him a lot. I mean, we got to face the facts. Like, Fields can run, obviously, but he's going to have to improve the passing game and stuff. Like, I just don't see him ever being a quarterback that leads the team to the playoffs and wins games in the playoffs. Like, I just think you're going to have to inevitably move on from him at some point.
Yeah, I think the other thing too about it is whether they like Fields or not. I think the reality is they don't have quarterbacks. They don't have a quarterback they're going to have to pay heavily, right? That's the reason they're able to do this more than anything. So if Fields doesn't work, whether they draft a quarterback or they end up trying to find one via trade, free agency, they're not going to have in the immediate future, like next couple of years, heavy quarterback money, which allows you, if you don't have a heavy quarterback contract, you can pay everybody, which is what they're going to make sure that they do right now with guys like Garrett Wilson and Sauce to make sure they keep their core players.
Right.
Let's see if this will work here, buddy. I'm working on trying to upload this mic file here. See if we can
do another one here while you do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sutton owner in my league has Garrett Wilson. Would you try to make a blockbuster and get both? Burn both 26 first and or Ibuka and some of those pieces. He also has T-Law if he'd tier up to Burrow. I don't think I'm tearing down from Burrow to T-Law, so I'm not doing that one.
No, the only I don't mind T-Law. Like, if you believe heavily in Travis Hunter and BTJ, you think they can coexist. Inherently, that means T-Law can support them both. So you should be interested in him, but at a cost that's not like the tier up. I think I'd be willing to tear down from Burrow to T-Law if it was a significant, like I'm going to get significant value. But there's no chance. Yeah, there's no chance that you get that true value. To your point, 2 first. Right. If I get 2 first, I would do this in like any 12-team league. But my guess is you're not getting that.
I mean, he said both 26 first and Ibuka. Would you give up 1 26 first and Ibuka for Garrett Wilson and Sutton?
Well, I give up 1 26 first and
Ibuka for Garrett Sutton and Sutton. So I would say probably Wilson and Ibuka in Dynasty right now. Wilson's probably still valued a little more. But
here's what I would say.
First for Sutton, I probably would rather have the first.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think personally, if I'm bringing to the table, like I'll talk as much and highly of Garrett Wilson, I'm still willing to buy, and I like him at cost. I think if I'm bringing a first and Ibuka to the table, I want to go to the premium receivers, which is past Garrett Wilson, or I'd rather not give you a first and Ibuka personally, because I think Ibuka is one of those assets that over the next year can definitely continue to rise. So if I'm sending Ibuka and a first in 26, I'm probably trying to shoot to the Nico range or higher. Right? I'm trying to get like Puka. I'm trying to get to the higher end range of like top 8-9 receivers. So that's what I hold off on. All right, let's see if this works. Are you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
What up, shitheads? Sad that I can't be there. Wednesday night AMA. Hope you guys are having a good time, but I'll be back in a couple weeks. Just know we're doing all right up here. I think this shit's pretty peaceful. Having the time of my life. Alaska baby coming live to you. But like I said, I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Take care of Adam for me.
Take care of me, all right? Let's go.
Nice.
We got it up, man.
My man looks happy. He looks like he's in a good place there. I'm happy for him.
Yep, he looks like damn, Mike, I hope we get you back. I don't know if we are getting him back right now. He looks like he's ready to stay,
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame him. I would want to too.
I'll just say I can almost guarantee you too with he's been not drinking for a while because he's not been able to. He's getting like drunk or hungover right away. He's this wine though in Alaska. He's pretty tore up given that video right there. I'm pretty sure. So love to see it. All right, go back to that question. Sorry, I pulled it off so we could see Mike's noggin.
Yeah, we were talking. We kind of talked about it though. This one.
Yeah, we hit this one. Okay. Yep, I'm with you. All right, let's hit a couple more, and we'll let Evie get out of here, and I'll start packing. I might just leave some of this stuff up here.
There you go.
Studio B over here at my parents. What do you want here? Let's see.
I think that
Okay.
was the
What up,
next one,
South
yeah.
Harmon? What up, NDK Dynasty? He's cooking up to 27 first and Keaton Mitchell for A-Chain. Nah.
No, I'm holding on to those 27 first.
A-Chain already
with
to
my
me.
life. Yeah.
A-Chain already to me for 2 first is just on the side that I don't. If I'm going to send 2 first for running back, I'm probably wanting to get. I'd rather add a second almost or something else even to get to the Genty, Gibbs, and Bijan range, right? Like I don't want to send 2 first for A-Chain in general. And then when I look at this, Keaton Mitchell, I could care less about. That's fine. You can throw Keaton Mitchell to any trade. I'm good with that. But when I have leverage built up in 27, like that class and the leverage you have there, 6 27s, assuming this is a 12-team league, you've got half of the first. So I'm definitely not trying to lose all that leverage as well as send 2 first for A-Chain. Because here's the thing, 2027, even if you are offering right now the 2 worst projected picks, by the time the 27, so we have all this year, and then what determines that is next year. So you have way too much variance baked into this to really even know for sure what's going to happen. Unless you're telling me those 2 teams are some of the best built dynasty teams you've ever seen. I'm talking just like complete goon squads. I'm not doing it.
So you're a Marvel guy, right, Adam? You've watched Marvel movies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right now
we
with
started
6,
up the Daredevil series again.
That's right. 627 first. You are like fucking Thanos right now. Here's one Infinity Stone. Here's another. You can snap your fucking league out of existence with 627 first. Do not trade those. Nope.
Yeah, you build up this type of leverage. It's
that
actually kind of
class
hard.
is stacked. Like
it's really hard to get. It's hard to get half of the league to give you the first in this year. So you built that up. Allow the value to work with you. Because A-Chain right now, he could end up being a smash play this next year again. But what if he gets hurt again? That's just not the play that I think I'd prefer to send 2 first for at the moment.
Yeah, like the 27 first are like, those are fucking gold right now. Like Arch Manning's probably gonna be in that class because he ain't gonna come out this year. You got DJ Lagway, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams from Alabama. There's so many guys in that class that are coming out that are going to be difference makers, like the Brock Bowers of the worlds, like those types of players, like Malik Neighbors. You want those first. I'm keeping them and just see what happens where they fall. Like if you end up with the first 4 picks, good luck to the rest of your league. They might as well fucking give you the money for the next 3 years.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, so how much do you guys think? We'll answer a couple more and then we'll bounce. Davo, 305. He's been active tonight. How much do you guys think these rookie dynasty values change because of holding out? I don't think really much at all, honestly. Typically,
yeah, not too much. As long as they get in there and like, sure, it's going to affect them. Like, but honestly, most rookies, unless they're like the super studs that get drafted in the top 15, like rookies start off slow. Like look at like you mentioned earlier, Jonathan Taylor started off slow. Nick Chubb didn't even start for the first like 6 weeks because Carlos Hyde was playing.
They had to trade Carlos Hyde's ass out of there,
Right. Yeah.
Bro,
so like
that was actually crazy thinking back on that. That was amazing.
AJ Brown with the Titans, he started off really slow, and then like after the first month, he exploded. So some of these rookies, it takes some time. It's going to take a month or sometimes 2 months to finally get going and hit their stride. So I'm not worried about it.
With you. All right. We'll answer. Here we go. Last question. Luke. It's popping, Luke. Do y'all value the rushing quarterbacks less when it's 6 point passing touchdown scoring? Does it not really change anything on your rankings? Adam, ATMs and Mike romance is real. Yes, it is. And I would say no. The 6 point passing touchdown, it kind of helps the overall field of quarterbacks, honestly, and maybe even the guys that don't have as much rushing upside. But the Konami quarterbacks still in 6 point passing touchdown by far and away. So I guess the answer really doesn't change anything, and I still want those elite rushers.
Sure. And guess what? The elite rushers are Lamar Jackson, 40 touchdown passes last year. Josh Allen, bunch of touchdowns. Jalen Hurts didn't have a lot of touchdown passes. He's like the only one. Maybe Fields would fall into that route. But like these guys still throw a ton of touchdown passes. So no, it doesn't really affect it for me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't at all. Honestly, like there's maybe the only reason, like, it doesn't. Let me answer it this way: the rushing quarterbacks I don't value any less. It might mean that I'd be a little more okay with a Stafford type, right? And because they're 6-point passing touchdown, but I'm not going out of my way to like avoid any of the rushing style quarterbacks. I want those players in 6-point passing touchdown. All right, EV. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Got to come in here and make sure we had the stream. EV was like, "Listen, I'm available." I'm like, "All right, say less. We're gonna make sure this happens." So we got through it. We got to it. We talked Garrett Wilson. Here's what I think, again, theme of the show, which probably because it's starting like a month earlier. I think it's like, don't drink and drive. Don't trade your 26 picks away unless you're getting something really good. I think right now they're still being like hella discounted, and people are trying to just get rid of them immediately. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are overreacting to this 26 first stuff. Like, there's still some really good players. Like, even if Arch doesn't come out, like Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, Drew Lar, like Lenora Sellers, like, we don't know if these guys are all going to come out, but they have a chance to, and they're all going to be solid quarterbacks. Like, we might have 4 or 5 quarterbacks, and we just spent, 14-team league. You want all these quarterbacks. Start 2 quarterbacks. Got to have all these quarterbacks. So there's some quarterbacks coming out. Jeremiah Love is probably going to be in this class. He's a really good running back prospect. We'll see what happens with the receivers. There's not too many receivers, but I'm not like completely abandoning my 26 first. Now, if you want to trade seconds and thirds, because I don't think the class is as deep, I'm fine with that. But
I'm also
the 26 first, I'm still going to value.
Yeah, I definitely will. There's too much time to see what could happen with what players in the 26 class maybe we don't even really think highly of, or we don't know about yet, that could emerge as far as values go. So I'm locked into making sure I'm holding on to some of these picks at a value, and sometimes even on contenders, I'm going to be acquiring some 26 picks to use as liquidity later on in the year. But appreciate you all tapping in. We'll see you back here. Same time, same place. I don't know if I'll be in the same place, but we'll be back on AMA. We're out of here. Peace.
That's it.